Gracias. Hello, everyone. Good night. So I think I'm here today because the event that I co-found this year, which is called DEV Day, which is a community event that ended up having more than 500 people attending and 20 companies in sponsoring that event. But, be- but before diving into that, I just want to share a little bit about my experience. So I am Brazilian. I study marketing and sales, and I was always in the travel industry. I moved to New Zealand first time 20 years ago, which I met my Argentinian husband in New Zealand. As you do, right? Come on. Just next door. So we spent 2 years here, and then I was missing my family a lot, so I ended up moving back to Brazil. Didn't think about anything, like São Paulo. Come on. After 2 years living in Auckland, coming back to São Paulo is huge. I was like, oh, can't do this. So they moved to the beach, manage a hotel, moved to Buenos Aires. Then I create my business, which I managed for 11 years. My husband was always like, let's go back. So I was like, no. I have the business, I have the house, I have the kids, everything is working. No. And he's like, oh, darling, there is this travel conference happening in New Zealand. Let's go. I was like, okay. He didn't want me to sell anything or do anything. He just wanted me to come back here, So he wanted to convince me to move back here. And then apart from that, he's also put me my hotel is right in front of school. Right? So I could see kids, 2 or 3 years or 4 or whatever, walking to school by themselves. So then was like, okay, yes, let's go. Let's move, whatever. So that was 8 years ago. So I moved back to New Zealand, sold my business in Argentina, and then decided to build a business here, which is very hard. Just building a business, it's always hard. Rebuilding a business in a country that you don't know, even if I had that first experience first, but I don't know. So the culture and how things works and how different that is. So we work so hard for 3 years and a half. And then when we were very, very, very successful, so our business was like to the roof, COVID came and hit it, and it was so, I agree, COVID was hard for everybody, but when you have 2 members of the household that are actually managing a business with travel, it is harder because you have no income, and also you have been working in an industry that died. So what do you do next? So then I started to think, oh my God, how do I pivot? So how do I do it? I did create a Facebook group called Travel Locally. I had a lot of supporters, so I hear you. But I couldn't find the way to transform that as a business, so I'm super proud. But then I ended up getting into technology, right? I got a job in drinks and cigars industry. I have kids. I was like, vegetarian. Maybe not. Technology? Okay, yeah, let's go there, Ended up joining a friend of mine that had an IT recruitment firm to help him to change the business, and Santi was going to move to US or whatever. But when I started there, I really hated it. I didn't like it because it was a very transactional industry. You rely on me on that. So I was like, oh, how do I change these, and how do I create a business format for my business where I can actually have like a more SaaS format, and I actually can do what I love, which is engage with people. So we did that, and then by doing that in our format, most of the time, my team, were spending time talking to people and helping people and teaching them or her. It doesn't matter where they are in tech, beginners, intermediate, seniors. We will always be open, and we always would have a conversation with them. And that started to become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger in a way that said, okay, I have to find a way to maximize that. We need to create a space where the tech industry can get together, and celebrate the industry and connect. I believe in true connections. I believe engaging as a human being, first of all. I am a salesperson, but I hate sales, So I do believe that if you engage as a person, as a community, and you donate your time and you create a space where it's safe to talk and to exchange, everything will happen. Everything can happen. So if you're true creating this community spirit, the magic will happen. So me and my husband came with this idea that we are going to organize this, crazy event. And at the beginning we said, we don't want to charge people. We really don't want to charge people. So we ended up having, okay, how do we do that? How we create this space without charging people? And, so we worked so hard, and it was a crazy idea. So I didn't have anything to show, right? So I was just like selling smoke. I have this dream, can you give me some money? And some crazy people thought that we actually could put it out. Pauli was one of them. So she was one of our, and some other people did. And then we ended up having 20 supporters. But it was like AWS, Countdown, One New Zealand, really big companies. And then I was like, oh, okay, so now we don't fit in this venue. How do we do it? So we ended up changing the venue, making a bigger venue. And then at the first, it was like, oh, we do it in a hotel. We don't have to worry about anything. We will be fine. And then after having these 20 companies that actually trust on us, and then we came back to the hotel, look at the room, it's like, it looks so empty. It's just naked. How are we going to make it work? So then we pull out everything that we didn't have in our budgets, to make it look nice. But then the last bit, it was, now we have all these things happening, but how do we make a community event? How we create opportunity for these people to have conversations? So we had that set up. There was over 30 speakers, so we had like panels of speaking, but then we also had like a networking stations. And my dream was that these networking stations will actually be a place where people would, put it up and have conversations and engage. I've been to maybe 25, 30 tech events that never happen. They always build these huge booths, and the tech people just go like, don't want to talk to you, and at the end, we created a different setup. We had music, we had light. We talked to the supporters, we talked to the people. It's like, guys, this is a place where we get together, And at the end of the day, it was magical. It was like we had more than 500 people, and we actually, Pauli was speaking in one of the panels, and the people networking, they were so loud, but so loud that we couldn't even kind of hear the panel. So I actually had to build a wall between them. But, it was terrible, but it was really good, right? It was a really good problem to have, because the goal was to create a space where people connect, So I'm super proud of that. And what I want to leave you guys tonight is with 3 things. So one is when you have a project or idea or anything that you want to achieve, be open, be flexible. The first idea that you have is probably not the one who will happen. So if you just stick with what you think is true, not probably it will be hard to be successful. But if you talk to people, engage as a community, ask, what do you think? What is your ideas and stuff? That what will happen. Networking, but not for the sake of selling or promoting your stuff. That doesn't work, guys. Never did. So you create truthful relationships and you connect as a human being and you ask them about what they're doing and how they are doing. And then you will connect with that person and obviously that person will help you. It's so obvious, but we don't think about that. So be true to relationships without anything, business, anything. They don't matter. What matters is the human being connections and how you connect with that person and why. And the last one, is be resilient. It doesn't matter what you do. You just keep going, You keep going. You don't give up. One idea doesn't work, then you keep going and you engage and you keep going and you, with the community that, if you did your homework well and you build that community, you will make it through. So, yeah. Thank you.